So you know how sometimes people say you can be more than one thing? Well, it shows exactly that in astrology. And I find that it's it's very refreshing because it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's just like you start to realize, like, oh my goodness, right? It's like, oh yeah, I'm this and that and this and that. And you start to really embrace all that stuff. So, anyways, hey, welcome to my channel. So my name is Jose. I'm so happy to be able to share what I've experienced with you guys um, when it comes to astrology. And I like going in deep. So that's one of the things I do. My name is Jose. I do micro astrology is what I'd like to call it. Okay. I'm coining it right now. Okay, that's my term. I don't know if it's been taken. I don't know. There's no copyright thing on it, whatever. The point it is like I love going into detail, and it's the more I know about myself, the more I know how to work with the planets, the more I'm able to help people and you know help them figure out also those little things. So you can do it yourself too. So anyway, today's topic is particularly about that exact thing, like Theo Swan calls it like fragmentation, or basically it's been called fragmentation, right? So you are more than one thing. So how this looks is this if you look at all the planets in the shoulder, right? You're probably wondering, it's like, you know how you also get to know someone and then all of a sudden they're in a different way, they're very, we call it in a different area of life, they're quite different. That's exactly what it is. So let me show you how this works. Okay, we're gonna go back into my chart. Okay. Um, I could go into other stuff, like you can look at my old videos about stuff I've read, like charts I've read for other people. I might go back into that. I think that's kind of fun, kind of like peering into their lives. It's like, ooh, what are they like, kind of thing. But I'm not, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But we'll see. Yeah, but I'm here to kind of share that. So, share. I mean, I'm here to share this specifically right now. So that's somewhere in the future. I don't know. Okay. So here is, of course, my chart. I'm sorry, this is a progression chart. So I'm going to show you is my basic birth chart. Okay. And I'm going to go to chart wheel. Okay. I'm going to show this one. Okay. So I can tell you right now that when it comes to, let's say, let's start with like uh just the first one. Just looking at that one, you'll see that it's like, okay, you have descendant in Cancer. So what does that embody? But what does that embody? Yes. So typically I tend to be kind of like, I don't really show my emotions, at least more before. Or at least I didn't really show my emotions as much as before. Then I was a little more secretive, kind of like very much in the moment, kind of wanting to find real intimacy and emotional connection with other people. That's like, I mean, just looking at the cusp of the first house. I mean, my North Node is there, and that's part of the path I'm in to kind of work from the heart. And that's what I've been experiencing. So when I express myself in this case, it is from the heart. It is from like inner me. Like people say, like I've been told rather once, I think, I don't know if people really read it, but I've been told once that I wear my heart on my shoulders. And you don't really see me here doing that when doing this, right? So where do we go to know that? Well, let's look at this. Let's look at where is being on YouTube. What does this mean? Well, we're on YouTube, this is the public, right? So oftentimes it's tied to this Aries, Taurus energy. So I'm kind of, there's boundaries there where I'm very practical when it comes to showing things on video, but I also have a lot of that bursts of energy. That is that Aries thing. And there's more to it than this, right? There are progression charts that do that, that show what else there is. But that's the basic part of it. But if you were to get to know me in person, you'll see that I have Sun there in the fourth house with my the Mercury, Uranus in Scorpio. Okay, Pluto there. So I'm quite secretive when it comes to my private life. I don't show it to people. unless I can really, really feel like I can really, 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 really trust you. However, that too has changed, right? If I were to even show you the progression chart, which I could right now, it's totally fine. And these are just a little, you can say, sneak peek into what's happening now. And this is like today. You see this one, 2025, May 15. Okay, as I do this video, you'll notice that it's now in Sagittarius. So I'm more open and more imaginative. So when you get to know me as in like, really intimate level, like when I'm a private, I'm more open now. So that's how it's changed, right? Before, so let's take a look at this one. So you see how this is the birth chart, but this is the progression chart. So the birth chart is going to show, let's say with children. With children, I used to be quite a lot more domineering. Even with affairs, I was quite sexual. You the Scorpio energy there, it's in Sagittarius, so there's a lot of risk taking when it came to relationships back then. There's a little more, right? But you look into the progression chart. Look at this. Cusp is actually Mars there, but look at the sign. It's in Cancer. I'm not as like guarded or secret or secretive or anything like that. However, there is that still, but there is patience. There's definitely like I need to have fulfill a certain purpose when it comes to love. And actually, that's happening right now. So I can tell you right now, I love that. So, and then when it comes to, let's say, work ethics, look at this one. Let's go back to the birth chart. When I was younger, I used to like a lot of things that were kind of very inspired, when it comes to work ethic. That's the sixth house. It's also work volunteer and all that stuff. I used to want a lot of inspiration. I used to want a lot of um there's a lot of it's tied to well, the service is when it's tied to anything spiritual or even religious. I used to play or in a church. I used to play in a church or churches. I was in a choir. um, those kind of things. You look at how cusp it's like here in Sagittarius. So that explains that. But I also did things that were tied a lot to languages or foreign things. So I did a lot with foreign, I wouldn't say necessarily foreign people generally, but it is generally in that sense that. So there's a probability. So when I moved to Canada, um, it was like a foreign thing. So naturally, that's part of that. Right. So that's how it is. Um, but we look at sorry, I'm figuring out the shortcut here. But now look at this. The South Node is in the sixth house, and it's now in cusp is in Aquarius. So it's actually moved before there was this transition from Sagittarius to Capricorn. So I was actually kind of more serious, and I kind of had to step away from any sort of service, focusing on more myself. Now I'm more like, no, I want to help the world. I want to change the world. It's a very Aquarian energy. Plus, with the past lives that I've had, or past lives or past life gifts that I've had, it's now coming into place right now. So it's very interesting how astrology shows that, right? So there you go. So the point is that you are more than one thing. When you just look at when you look at the charts, you'll see how it's going to reflect um, your multidimensional self, as you probably heard of it before. So the fact that I'm showing you how I'm showing you right now with this thing, I'm not really being that vulnerable in public. Um, I don't know. There's no vulnerability. It used to be Aries, so that's the midheaven. It used to be in Aries, and then it progressed. When I say it's Aries, when I say used to be, by the way, it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's still there, but there's a layer to that. So it went from Aries, and then there's a Taurus thing. So I had my boundaries with the public. I literally just like, no, very stubborn, didn't want to show myself, that kind of thing. And then it changed, it became more flexible. So now I'm becoming more flexible. Why? Because my midheaven is now in Gemini. So that's the beauty about progressions. But my intention was not to really be about to show you progressions, but there you go. A sneak peek is fine. That's how it works. It's beautiful. It's how astrology works. So froze there a little bit there. But anyways, yeah, so you can be more than one thing. That's how you figure it out. So usually you go through the houses, and if you want to work with progression charts, go through what's called a progress chart rather than natal plus progressions, because the natal plus progressions will show you how the planets affect each other, and the progress planets affect the houses of your birth chart, meaning the interpretation will be different. But where it's at now is going to be through the progress chart. I noticed that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's a little different. There you go. So, I think that's it. Sometimes I wonder, is there anything else to say? But thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. Um, it's at least, at the very least, very informative, I hope. So again, you can be more than one thing. You're a multidimensional, divine, infinite being. Okay? Please remember that. And yeah, have fun. Always have fun. The key is always have fun. I keep forgetting to remind people on the videos. Have fun. So and you can only have the moment to celebrate all that funness. Okay. Laugh, have fun with it, make mistakes. Okay. But just go for it. If it really resonates with you, go ahead. But anyways, I digress a little bit more. I talk a lot. There's a lot of energy right now. Thank you for watching as I pass gas through my mouth. And comment down below if you have any questions, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching as I stop. Bye.